Thank you for joining me for video 1 of your new teacher training for NEISD Adult Education. Welcome aboard. We're glad you've joined us, and I hope that you will learn some worthwhile things during these training videos. There will be lots of times, of course, for us to meet face-to-face and answer questions, ask questions, chit-chat, email, text, and talk on the phone, but I'm hoping that these videos will give you a good overview of your new job. Let's get started. Here is a brief agenda of this first video. We'll talk about the people that work in and with adult ed. We'll talk about your SmartBook. By the way, you might want to pause the video and run get that SmartBook if you don't have it handy. We're going to refer to it as we go on. There will also be a brief overview of our program, and we'll talk a bit about processes and procedures. In accordance with the Texas Workforce Commission, NEISD must provide training to new instructional staff. That's what these videos are all about. We'll talk about the instructional approach we encourage using our program's instructional materials. You'll learn about how we conduct and use learner assessments. There will be information about the responsibilities we have to our program and the responsibilities our program has to TWC. Sadly, this training does not count toward your mandatory professional development. Let's meet the staff. Although you'll be given a contact list of our staff later, this is a little who's who list and their phone numbers if you care to jot anything down. If you run down to the bottom of this list, you'll see the name Rudy Jimenez. He is our Executive Director for Northeast Community Education, and Adult Education is part of that organization. Those listed above him make up our administrative staff here in Adult Ed. You will surely recognize a name or two on this list, as you probably interviewed with either Larry Zimmerman or Shelley Sievers, maybe even both. Here are the folks that make up our support staff. My name is at the bottom of the list. I'm Karen Condit, and I'm so happy to be with you today by way of this video. Before we move on too far, I want to spotlight a few of the folks on the staff list. Larry Zimmerman is our program director. He's our boss and works directly under the executive director, Rudy Jimenez. You can see from this list of his duties that he is our bean counter as well as our leader. He's a busy guy for sure, but has an open door policy, so feel free to drop by and visit with him anytime. Shelley Sievers is the program supervisor and does a lot to keep us up to date on the world of adult education, and she generally supervises our program. Aurora and Laurie really keep us going. These ladies enter an enormous amount of data on our students, and they keep track of how we're doing as a program and where we need to be. They are the heartbeat of our operation. Joy Felix creates and runs the transitions classes we offer our students. Her job is evolving as TWC changes the look of adult ed in Texas. A lot of those changes are happening in Joy's world of transitions. Colanda and Leanne run our distance learning classes that we offer to our students. Colanda oversees the HSE portion, formerly known as GED, and Leanne is the ESL distance learning teacher. Orlando Williams is our testing specialist. This is one busy guy. We now have monthly registrations and orientations. If that isn't enough, he is heavily involved in the progress testing we have to do with each of our students. The academic facilitator is me. My role in this program is a non-evaluative one. That means that I don't walk in the door and try to tell you what you're doing wrong. But I am very involved in mentoring, training, and coaching. The last duty mentioned is to oversee our induction ceremony of the National Adult Education Honor Society. You'll learn more about that later, but I mention it now as something to look forward to. The SmartBook. I mentioned earlier, you should have it handy during our training videos. You should also bring it to our meetings as well. You'll get things to add to the book from time to time, and you can use it to refer to during our meetings. It's important to remember that this is an ever-evolving book. Information gets updated frequently. Our program is a grant-funded program using federal and state funds. Texas Workforce Commission controls the money for the adult ed programs in Texas, and Region 20 manages the funds for our program here in NEISD, as well as the Region 20 Consortium. Here is the vision of our adult ed program. Every Texan, regardless of age, is entitled to a basic education. Our mission is to ensure that all adults who live in Texas have the skills necessary to function effectively in their personal and family lives, in the workplace, and in the community. Think about our vision and how you feel about it. Then do the same for our mission statement. How do you feel you can contribute to our vision and our mission? I'll give you a chance to comment later on, but for now, just keep these things in your mind as you learn more about us. Here is a web address where you can learn about our district's policies and procedures. When going to this document, you'll find that things work best with Internet Explorer. Please note that you are a temporary district employee if you work for adult ed, and you don't get employee benefits. You will receive lots of emails about those benefits that you don't have, so just delete them. Let's talk about our processes and procedures. How about talking about getting paid first? Be sure you enter your time every week by noon on Friday. If you have a Saturday meeting or a Saturday class, that time will go on the next week's timesheet. Here's how to go and put your time in. You're going to go to neisd.net, hover over Employees, click Employee Portal, and you'll enter your username and password that you use for your email. You'll click Supplemental Pay, and then you will click Add Time Card Entry. ESL teachers will use P27 for the pay code and P27831381 for position. The TextChase or HSE teachers will use P26 for the pay code and P26831381 for the position. Do not leave the comment box blank. Enter Adult Ed, ESL, or HSE with the start and stop time, such as 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 p.m., along with your location. Click Save or Submit for approval. If you click Save, it's going to just do that. It's not going to actually go anywhere. If you wanted to start going toward the paying process, you have to click Submit for approval. Submit every week by noon on Friday. Don't wait till the end of the month. If you work on a Saturday for professional development or you have a class, then submit that time the following Friday. You will get paid once a month at the end of the month, and Yvette will give us a pay schedule. Questions about pay? You need to see Yvette and/or Larry. Here are a few housekeeping rules for the Ferrari. Many of these same rules apply at the satellite locations for our classes as well. Please park in the adult ed parking lot and not the alternative school parking lot. And of course, you can park anywhere on the street that allows parking. This is a school district and a city site, so tobacco use is limited to the sidewalk. Please don't even smoke in your car. You need to be sure that you secure your belongings. We have some lockers in the back hallway that are reserved for teachers, and you can get a padlock and lock your things up there. We have a kitchen where you can eat, a microwave, a refrigerator. There's a coffee maker, and there are some mailboxes for you to receive different kinds of communications in the teacher workroom. Back to our processes and procedures. As I mentioned before, we hold monthly registrations. There might be slight variations from time to time, but that is the current routine. Region 20 and TWC determine the target number of students we need to serve every year. You'll see that we are being asked to serve 1,092 students during the current school year. This is a great place to mention that retention is a very important part of our program's function. You'll hear me mention this several times during the training. Attendance sheets or sign-in rosters. These are very important documents and need to be dealt with in a very specific way. You are responsible for printing your own rosters from the Teams website. If you are not yet eligible to sign in to Teams, someone in the office will print your sheets for you. You need to turn in the original or a copy for each day of class by the end of the day on Friday. If you cannot get to the office, you can scan and email these sheets or take a picture with your cell phone and email or text them to Aurora. This is part of the data gathering that we must do and keep up with for every student. In doing so, it is very important that we do this in an orderly fashion. Note that you need to sign the top of each sheet, verifying that the information is correct, and you will need to add up the time for each student. Usually that time is 2.5 hours, but occasionally students leave early or come to class late, so their time should be reflected accurately. Here's what the attendance sheet looks like. See pages 50 to 52, my mistake, in your Smart Book for more information on these sheets. If you don't have any temporary attendance sheets, ask for some to keep on hand. These documents must include all of the information on the top portion of this page. We have that already printed on some temporary sheets for emergencies. Printers stop working at the most inconvenient times, and the internet is not always cooperative. Be prepared. Here is something very important. Don't let your students sign in and out at the beginning of class. Make sure everyone is being accurate about their hours. Have them sign in when they get there and sign out when they leave. And don't forget to ask them to put a signature in the signature box. Okay, here's your exit ticket. I need to know one thing you learned about NEISD Adult Ed, 2 things you have questions about, and 3 things in this first video that you think you could use in your class. Please put your answers on the form titled New Teacher Training 1 Exit Ticket. After you've answered the exit ticket items, take a few minutes to tell us your thoughts about our vision and mission statements. I'll see you in video 2. Thanks so much for spending time with me today.